Howdy, it's Papa. We've just talked about the Alleghanian orogeny, or mountain building event. And in the last video, I told you the basics of it. Now we want to look at some of the places in Georgia where some of the materials associated with the Alleghanian orogeny exist, where they are, and what they're all about. But first I want to talk about coal. As I said in the previous video, most of the world's coal reserves were formed during the Alleghanian orogeny. And there were two. We talked about low sulfur coal and high sulfur coal, but I didn't tell you about really the important distinction that exists in coal. Two kinds of coal: anthracite coal, which is also metamorphic coal, and bituminous coal. They were both originally formed in these great swamps, all up and down these great Okefenokee-like coal swamps, all up and down the East Coast during the as Africa was approaching. But in the coal that formed in the Valley and Ridge province, up in Pennsylvania, and maybe a little bit in West Virginia, that coal, as Africa pushed up onto the continent and pushed all the other exotic terrains that were on the edge of the continent, pushed them all up and toward the northwest, the Valley and Ridge province was folded into anticlines and synclines. And remember last time I talked about how the coal, especially up in the Pennsylvania and West Virginia area, was trapped in these synclines and thus preserved from being eroded away. Well, those synclines, that pressure from the smashing into the synclines, also turned that coal into anthracite, or metamorphic coal. Anthracite coal is much more high quality than bituminous coal. If you take bituminous coal and smash it and crash it and metamorphose it, you get anthracite coal. And for many, many years, the anthracite coal of this in Pennsylvania, in the Valley and Ridge province, provided a huge quantity of the coal that we used in America, even though it's those coal fields are small. The Cumberland Plateau, all up and down the East Coast, of course in Pennsylvania they call it the Allegheny Plateau, in Georgia we call it the Cumberland Plateau. Lots of coal beds were also formed in this region, but this region was not heavily metamorphosed, so we didn't get this coal remained as bituminous coal instead of being mashed and crashed and metamorphosed into the anthracite coal. It's also, there's a lot more of the bituminous coal, and it is heavily mined and it has been heavily used as well. So that's the story about coal, the last part of the story. Now let's look at the map and talk about some more stuff here. Okay. You see this red spot right here, just south of Atlanta. On this map, red means ultramafic rock. That means rock that's super high in iron and magnesium. It means rock that most likely came from the bottom of ocean crust or the upper part of the mantle that was pushed up on land. And this is called the Soapstone Ridge ultramafic region or area, and that represents a big area. It's not like the whole area is solidly covered with this ultramafic rock, but it's spotty in places. Geologists believe that this was ocean crust that was smeared out and pushed onto the land as Africa pressed forward during the Alleghanian mountain building event. And this is really interesting rock if you get a chance to look at it. And it's ultramafic. So that's one interesting Alleghanian orogeny occurrence. Here, way over here now. Oh, you can't see it. Hang on. Let me go to another map. Here we go. Okay. There's Lincolnton, Georgia. And here's Elberton, Georgia. Lake Russell. And see all these red spots here? Another sign of ultramafic rock. And I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see generally where this is. This is very far eastern, right on the South Carolina border with Georgia. This is called the Russell Lake Alachthon. And Alachthon just means a thin bunch of rock that's smeared out in a thin sheet, like smearing butter on a piece of toast or bread. They call that an alachthon. And it is also mafic and ultramafic rock that was pushed up onto the land as Africa smashed into the continent. That's the Russell Lake Alachthon. Kind of interesting there. Let's see what else I want to talk about here. Oh, yeah. This is going to be hard to see, but can you see a fault system right here? Okay, it's outlining an area under my finger. And see, here's some more red ultramafic rock. This area is called the Savannah River Terrane. And this Savannah River Terrane, geologists believe, was a volcanic island arc that was pushed onto the continent as Africa smashed into it. Ultramafic rock was involved because that's ocean crust that was pushed up too. And that yellow square that's surrounding the red ultramafic rock area there denotes a place called Berks Mountain. And if you go to Berks Mountain, you can climb on it and you can find this ultramafic rock that's there. You'll find vermiculite, which is a weird kind of it's the same kind of stuff that they use in the in potting soil. It's created in these ultramafic places where ultramafic rock has been pushed up on land and then been modified by as change in elevation and the addition of water and other minerals. So that's the Berks Mountain complex. Another piece of stuff that was pushed up during the Alleghanian. Now, I talked about the Sewanee terrane in the last video, which was actually part of Africa. Where is it? Well, it's under all these coastal plain sediments. You can't see it, but it's down there. That's the Sewanee terrane. Now let's look at granite plutons. You know, during crashing events, granite plutons are always produced. If another crashing event comes along, then those granite plutons are usually going to be metamorphosed into granite gneiss, which is metamorphic granite. So let's look at the granite plutons that were produced in Georgia during the Alleghanian orogeny. Here's the biggest one of all. That's the Elberton granite, east of Atlanta. It's not granite gneiss. It's not metamorphic granite. It is actually granite. And it was in place during the Alleghanian orogeny right in this area here, which is the Cat Square terrane. Cat Square terrane used to be an ocean basin that lay between the inner Piedmont and the Carolina terrane. Here's the Carolina terrane. And received sediments from both of those. And apparently when Africa crashed, there were weak spots there that allowed this huge pile of Elberton granite to be emplaced. You can't see it. Just east of Atlanta is Stone Mountain, and everybody knows about Stone Mountain. That is another granite pluton. It's not huge, but it is granite instead of granite gneiss. There are some other granites, and on this map, if it's a pink color, it's granite. This is a huge bunch of granite that was emplaced in around the area of Gay, Georgia, during the Alleghanian orogeny. Here's some more up in here. Let's see if I can give you some names of some of these granites. Hang on just a second. Let me get access my notes. Granites were produced in Stone Mountain, Georgia, Siloam, Georgia, Elberton, Georgia, Sparta, Georgia, even though I've got that marked out. There's the High Fall granite. There's the Gay, Georgia granite. Palmetto and Ben Hills, those might be granite gneisses. So, that's basically what I wanted to cover in this video. Just wrapping up some little tidbits associated with the Alleghanian orogeny. And I'm hoping you guys are enjoying these videos and getting good information from them. They really make me do my homework and research so that I don't tell you too many fibs. And when I do tell you a fib, I try to always go back and correct it. And that's the purpose of these follow-up videos. Please give me input if you happen to see this video, comments. But the main thing is that I'm wishing for you the best of days. The COVID's been bad and politics have been bad, but you know what? The COVID and politics are not our life. Rocks are our lives. No, not really. But you can be happy no matter what's going on in your life and in the world, and I hope you guys are being happy. I want you to be happy, and I'm rooting for you. So, okay, Papa out.